Hey, I'm Ethan,
And I'm Isaac.
and this is All Things Video, a podcast that covers everything you need to know about leveraging video content for your business.
Join us as we discuss the latest tools, trends, and tactics in video marketing.
Let's get started. Hey guys, I'm Ethan,
And I'm Isaac.
and welcome to the very first episode of the All Things Video podcast. I'm super pumped to be here, man. How long have we been talking about and planning to do a podcast and not actually doing it?
At least 2 years.
At least 2 years, right?
Only seriously for the last year, but
Yeah. So I'm super excited to be doing this. It's something I've wanted to do for a while. Actually, both of us have done podcasting on our own in the past for our personal brands. But excited to be here. And I got to give you a huge shout out, man, because this whole area we're sitting in, as of a month ago, looked entirely different. So tell us a little bit about where we're sitting and what you did to make this set happen.
yeah. So, I mean, a lot of this was done on a budget. So we're trying to make the most amount of visual change with a, pretty modest budget. So doing, stuff like painting this room, it used to be all beige and now it's all matte black. So it's really easy to control the light in here. We got this vinyl up on the wall. I built this wall on our right-hand side is actually a fake wall that's on wheels. So we can move that around to build sets. Throwing the shelves up, just making it feel a little more homey in here. And just kind of the goal was to have a spot that we could come in, flip a switch, and record stuff and just not have to worry about setting up.
Absolutely. And that's super helpful. I mean, everything you see here is ready to go at all times. So we can just sit down and share our ideas with you. And so a little bit about this podcast and what we're trying to accomplish here is just, we love creating video. We love everything that involves video production and video marketing. And, that's really what we want this podcast to be about, is sharing our thoughts, our ideas, and educating the viewers and the listeners on all things video.
Yeah.
I'd say primarily either business owners or people who are on marketing teams of brands out there who are looking for ways to incorporate video content in their marketing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So before we get into today's topic, Isaac, I think since this is the first episode, it'd be appropriate to just do a little bit of introduction so that the viewers and listeners out there can get to know us a little bit. So why don't you start? Just tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do during the day for work. And I also want you to share with us maybe one or two of your favorite hobbies to do in your spare time. And if you were stuck on a desert island with no one else around, what's the one thing you would want to have with you?
Man, those are loaded questions, man. I'll start with the softballs. So my name's Isaac. I work here at Sleekfire as the director of photography. So my primary role is, taking that vision from the client of, a written form of this is what we want this video to accomplish and what we want it to do, and turning that into a physical, tangible product. And I love what I do here. I've been doing it for years and just really enjoy that. Some of my favorite hobbies are really just music in general. Like I play acoustic electric guitar, drums if I have a kit to play on. So that's a ton of fun for me. And then also just mountain biking, running. Those are some of my favorites. Really just anything to get outside more.
Yeah.
And then if I could only bring one thing on a desert island, it would probably be a shovel.
A shovel?
A shovel.
I did not see that coming. Why a shovel?
Because if you're in the desert and it's really hot, you could dig a shelter that's going to be cooler under the surface.
Okay.
Which also means you can get to water.
Okay. Very smart, very utilitarian. That's great.
Reading a book called Dune right now, so I know all about desert stuff. So what about you?
Awesome. Yeah, for me, so my name's Ethan Painter. I founded Sleekfire kind of unofficially back in 2009 when I was doing a lot of just solo freelance video work. And then more officially in 2017, founded this company. And ever since, this has been my main thing that takes up my time each day. My main passion and my main work is creating video content for our customers to help them grow their businesses. Initially I was the one manning the cameras and kind of doing everything and wearing all the hats. And over the last couple of years, it's been really exciting to see our team grow, bringing Isaac on, bringing two other people on who are just a huge blessing to me. And so I don't actually man the cameras that often anymore.
Yeah.
More of managing the client relationships and handling our own marketing and all of the things that are involved in running a business. As far as hobbies, I would say, man, just time with my kids. I'm expecting our sixth child right now. My wife and I are. We live on just a very small hobby farm out in the country here in St. John's, and I love everything about that life that we're building there. You know, trying to be as sustainable as possible, growing our own food, and so yeah, just time with kids, time in the great outdoors. You know, whether that's hiking or camping out with my kids in the woods or whatever it may be. Those are just a couple of things that I really enjoy doing. And then if I was stuck on an island, I didn't think ahead about this question. So I was thinking more like something cool or fun to have to keep me entertained. And you went
Yeah.
straight to like survival.
Utilitarian.
Yeah. So I feel like your answer is going to be smarter than mine. But honestly, probably like some books or maybe my journal. Like I love reading. I love writing my thoughts and writing down ideas. And I feel like that's a lame answer compared to yours, but it's the first thing that came to mind, so I'm going to go with it.
Well, we all know who's going to be the survivor on the
Yeah.
desert island now.
Yes, I'll enjoy my life for a week or two, and then I'll die, and then you'll just be super bored, but you'll survive.
Yeah.
Okay, so getting into today's topic, this first episode is just titled, What is Video Marketing? On the surface, I think that question is maybe somewhat obvious to certain people, but at the same time, you know, this term video marketing is a term that gets thrown around a lot online, on social media, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. And I feel like a lot of business owners or maybe smaller marketing teams feel like they should be doing video. They should be investing in video content and using it for their marketing, but maybe they're not sure how or not sure why. So we kind of thought that'd be a really good introductory episode to this podcast. So let's just get into the topic here. I think in this episode, we want to cover 3 points. What is video marketing, why you should consider investing in it, and how you can go about creating videos for your business or for your team that will give you a good return on your investment. Sound good?
Sounds good. Let's jump into it.
Awesome. So this first point, what exactly is video marketing? Video marketing is simply the process of creating videos and using them to promote your business or your brand. It's kind of a two-step process because firstly, you need to create the video content. That's obvious. Unfortunately, that's where a lot of people stop, and
Right.
they don't really have a good plan in place for
Yeah.
leveraging that video content in their marketing. So it's really a two-step process. Like you have to upfront, you have to create the video content, obviously, but then you need a plan in place to actually use it in your marketing and leverage it to get sales.
Absolutely.
I think it's been interesting over the last 5 years or so to watch the marketing industry change and evolve as it always does so rapidly. Specifically with video, though, 5 to 10 years ago, if you had a video, you were way ahead of your competition. If you had one video on your website, maybe on your landing page or your about page, a high quality, professionally produced video, it was like mind blown, right?
Yeah.
Like
These people know what they're doing.
exactly, yeah. And now it's almost just like expected. It seems like it's just expected for every brand to have high quality video content. So
Yeah.
I think it's changed from a way to stand out from the crowd to a way to kind of keep up with the crowd and keep up with the expectations of your customers.
Yeah.
I think another really important thing to keep in mind too is that when you make these videos, they don't all need to be sales focused, right? They don't all just need to be focused on getting a sale, highlighting your company. They should really be value first,
Yeah,
right? Value forward. And one thing that we've really seen great results in is following a process called They Ask You Answer. This is from Marcus Sheridan in his book by that title. Do you want to walk through a little bit of how we've used video? First of all, what is that process and the mindset behind that process, and how we've used video to kind of amplify that process?
Yeah, for sure. So They Ask You Answer really takes your videos from like, I just think this is cool about our company, or this is one of our products that I'm showcasing in this video, and I just wanted to show it to people, to really trying to make your content value focused, value based, in building trust with your audience. So the goal is to take common questions that your customers ask. So whether you're a small business, a big business that has a sales team, or whatever it is, you can have those people that do your sales document questions that they commonly get asked. And then how you should go about creating content for that is you could be writing blogs, but specifically in this context, making videos. So you could make short form content, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, whatever it is, saying, hey, I'm going to answer this commonly asked question today. And what that can in turn do, first of all, it's evergreen. So that can work for you forever. If that's a common question, people can continue to find that over and over again, and you don't necessarily need to replace it, and it's not going to go out of style because it's not about a trendy thing. But also, what that's going to do is when your customers see you saying, hey, I want to answer your questions, so you can be, confident about what you're purchasing, this product or service from this company, that's going to really up the level of trust that your potential customers have. And usually what that causes to do is those people to go from potential customers to devoted customers who are
Raving
saying,
fans.
yeah, I love this company. I love what they're doing. They're not hiding anything. They're answering my questions.
Transparent.
Yeah, they actually care about me and how I spend my money. So I think that's a super important part of this, and is really why using the Ask You Answer is so valuable for your company.
Yeah, so this is more like the inbound marketing approach where you're putting content out in the world that's evergreen and it's attracting people to your brand based on the questions that they're searching for.
Yeah.
I found this works really, really well for service-based companies. The example that Marcus uses in his book is he owned a pool company. And so he documented, I think he said like 50 or 100 questions that he was typically asked by customers when they were considering buying or building a pool. And he just made every single one of those a blog post, every single one of those a video, and put them out in the world. And then people start searching, of course, on Google, what's the best style of pool for me?
Yeah.
And if your brand is the first person that pops up in that search or on YouTube with a blog or a YouTube video or both combined, you're going to get that much more traffic to your website and that much more trust because you're establishing authority in the marketplace on that topic. So that's the inbound side of video. And then there's the outbound side of video marketing as well, which is very different. That's more of the interruption marketing where you're, maybe creating a specific video commercial or a video ad that's going to be, played on Facebook ads targeting specific people, which can be really powerful in certain cases. For local TV, which I think is probably declining quite a bit in how effective it is. But now with OTT services like Hulu and other platforms that you can pay to run ads on, a lot of our clients are doing that now. So those are kind of the two sides of video marketing and the differences between the two. I think both can be really effective. I think you'd probably agree that one's not necessarily better than the other. It kind of just depends on the company and your marketing goals.
For sure.
So that's just a quick overview of what video marketing is. You want to get us into the next point, Isaac?
Yeah, so I think it's pretty commonly known now that video marketing isn't something that you can go out and, choose off the dollar menu, right? Like it's an expensive thing.
Yeah.
And people often ask, why should I invest in this, when I can do it myself or just post iPhone photos? So why should people spend their hard-earned dollars on video marketing?
Yeah, it's a great question. And, we're very transparent and upfront about that too. We understand that video marketing and hiring a video production company like us or any other, it does cost a lot of money. And there's a lot of reasons for that. It's a time consuming thing. There's a ton of equipment involved, cameras, lighting, audio. There's labor and time involved. There's pre-production, production, post-production. So yeah, it costs a lot of money, and we are very aware that that money is hard earned by you guys, the business owners, or by your marketing teams, and we want to really steward that. But I think the reason people should consider investing in video versus just, written blog content or still photos is the amount of attention that you can grab using video content. I think over the last, I think in a certain sense, it's always been this way, but especially the last 10 years or so, attention has become one of the most important and valuable currencies in the world. Time and attention are the big two, right? That everybody has very limited resources in. And our attention spans just keep getting lower and lower. We see this in a lot of studies. You just look at the average watch time of a YouTube video or a Facebook ad, or it's like seconds. I mean, I think there's even studies saying that goldfish officially have longer attention spans than humans now. It's really sad. But with that being the case, video is a lot more beneficial in grabbing the attention of your target market, whether they're scrolling on their Facebook feed, Instagram feed, looking through TikTok or YouTube, wherever you're posting your videos. I think that really grabs attention a lot better. And I'll let you get into why, because you're the one really crafting and creating these videos and thinking through how is this going to grab attention. Why do you think that is, that the video does grab attention more so than written text or photos?
Yeah, for sure. So I think a huge part of it is that with, text on screen or an image, there's nothing to actually like catch your attention. There's nothing moving, unless maybe it's a really well-designed thing that people are like, oh, that looks really good. They might stop and look at it, but most of the time it's going to get scrolled past. So I think the biggest thing with video versus, blogs or photos is that you're engaging more senses. You have the visual, but you also have the sound, and the sound is a huge part of it. When you actually are able to hear people's voices, I mean, even with the podcast right now, if you are watching this on YouTube, which if you're not, you should be, then you're probably more engaged with this conversation. You're actually seeing us hear it. You feel like it's more intimate than just hearing someone's voice, or just seeing a static image. So I think that's the biggest part of it. Is it's way more attention grabbing because you have the sound as another teammate working on your team for you. So you can use sound to build tension. You can use sound for transitions. You can use sound to
help tell the story.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you watch like a film with no sound, it's like that's half of the experience is the sound. And if you've ever watched a movie where you just cannot look away, like that wouldn't be happening without the sound design that's underneath that video file. So I think that's really one of the biggest things is you're just engaging more senses, and you can move, like stuff's moving in video, right? So that's going to catch your attention more than a static image. If this is a video of someone walking and talking, or whatever it may be with your business, there's a lot more to engage with than a static image or just audio, whatever it may be.
For sure. I have a question here that's not in our notes, but I'm curious, how important do you think the quality of the video is? Because I think it would be easy for someone to grab their iPhone and go create 30 videos a month and post one every single day on all of their platforms.
Yeah.
And that could work for some people, but how important do you think the quality of the content is, specifically with, video quality, audio quality, and even the quality of like the story that you're telling? How important do you think that is?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, some of those things are paramount and some aren't. So I think if you go back to, honestly, even 3 or 5 years ago, there were very few really well-made pieces of content online. So when you saw something that was, a vertical video that was actually professionally done, it was like, whoa, I'm stopping and watching this.
Yeah.
But now it seems like that's much more common. With iPhones now, the quality is really, really good.
Yeah,
and
even like cinematic mode. Like sometimes it looks like it's actually being filmed.
Sometimes it looks like a cinema camera.
Yeah,
and
it's insane.
That is insane. So I do think that the more important part is the visual image, as far as the resolution goes, is probably the least important. You can tell a fantastic story and shoot it on a Super 8mm film camera, and it could be, really, really captivating. And I think also, if this podcast sounded really bad, that's what loses attention almost faster than anything. Like I know myself, if I'm watching a YouTube video, click on a tutorial or something, and instantly it's like they're in this really echoey space, and there's a lot of like hissing in the audio. I click off within 5 seconds usually.
But like you said, I do think the visual side, unfortunately, is less important than it used to be. Which kind of like crushes our souls as artists and creatives. But I think it's really true. And then on the story side, something we use in just about every project is the StoryBrand process by Donald Miller, walking through the 7-part StoryBrand framework with each video and making sure that we're telling a clear story. We're still talking about the why video versus other things. And I think that's huge with video is you can tell a better story in a lot of ways that engages the senses. And our brains for all of time have just been trying to conserve calories. You know, Donald talks about this in his book, Building a Story Brand. And if you can tell a clear story so that people aren't confused and they don't have to think, they're just enjoying what you're saying. They're hearing and enjoying the story that you're telling. I think that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Okay, so our last point for this topic is how should people consider creating video content? I think there's a lot of different ways to go about this, but Isaac, in your opinion, you want to kind of break down what are some of the ways that you've seen people go about creating content, whether, you know, themselves or just the different options in the marketplace. How should people be thinking about creating content consistently for their brand?
Yeah. I think the main two categories you'll see is the do-it-yourself in-house. We're going to make our own content. I'm going to do it on my phone, or I'm going to get some decent camera gear and try to learn it myself, or hire someone else onto my team that can create content in-house. Or there's the outsourcing, which is what people would hire a company like Sleekfire to do, to come in and say, just handle all of this for me so I can get high-quality video content and not have to worry about the process at all.
Right.
And there are, you know, ups and downs to both sides. If you are able to solve the problems you're having with, you know, your customers not having answered questions or something with just your iPhone, and maybe you get a good mic for it, then that might be all you need to do. And I also think it just depends on what company you are. If you're a small business owner, you might want to have a more unpolished look of, you know, shooting it on my phone. I want to be personal. I want this to be a little more intimate, not as scripted.
If you're a personal brand, or you have like a local brick and mortar where like everyone knows you as the owner of that place and you're there every day, then that can actually work in your favor, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously there's the other side where, you know, you might think of a more corporate-y company that's going to want something super polished. They want everything to be in place, highest quality audio, highest quality visuals. And
they
really,
typically have the budget to just say, we don't want to handle this.
Exactly.
Take it off our plate and make it happen.
We don't have the time, and we don't want to invest thousands of dollars into camera equipment and the man hours into learning how to do this. So we'll just hire someone externally.
Right.
So I think you can absolutely make content that solves the problems you're having in your company with your phone if you learn how to do it well. In fact, if you want to learn how to do it better, we actually have a whole comprehensive blog on that on our website at sleekfire.io that you can find that and learn about that. Or even, I think we have a blog on making content in-house versus...
Yeah, the pros and cons of either doing it in-house and purchasing the equipment yourself, or hiring a company.
Yeah.
What would you say are some of the pros and cons of each approach, just briefly, doing it yourself versus hiring a company?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is time and money. I mean, if you are doing this on your phone, it might only take you a few minutes, and that's not a big deal. So you can make, a reel in 5 minutes, edit it on Instagram, post it, you're good to go. If that's solving your problem, that's great. Keep doing that. But I think some of the, the cons is that you have to invest more of your time. If you are saying, I want to up this from not shooting it on my phone, okay, now you have to get a camera, which means you have to research what camera to get. You need to figure out how to light videos. You need to figure out how the heck do I record this to where the audio sounds good. There's all those things to consider. And then on top of that,
how do I say it?
Exactly. How do I script videos? Oh, do I need to get a teleprompter? Like there's so many different moving pieces. But then on top of that is, do you really have time as a business owner to invest all that time into that? Of learning, okay, what does ISO mean? What does aperture mean? What does shutter speed mean on a camera to make sure I get a good image? And I think that's really probably the biggest con. And then the pro of hiring, external is these people are professionals. This is what they do. They're a, subject matter expert in video. So they can come in, they know exactly how to light you to make you look the best as possible, to make you sound as good as possible, to help you walk through scripting your video, what you should say, the things that you need to communicate, and how to communicate them clearly. So I think that's
and then
really,
as a business owner, you go there that day and you're recorded, and then you walk away, and your time is done.
Yep.
And at that point, the video production company still has hours and hours and hours of post production and editing and revisions, and even posting in some cases. So
Yeah, but that's something, you'd have to be doing as a business owner otherwise, which means also you have to learn how to edit videos, which
Right.
to most people, I mean, it was super daunting to me when I first learned like
Yeah.
6 years ago.
There's a lot to it.
But then, the biggest con of that is it's going to cost money. It's going to
Right.
cost good money. There are a lot of companies doing this now. And, even like the camera we're shooting this on, like they cost a lot of money. So companies have to be able to cover their expenses, but also be able to make a profit. So
Right.
it is going to be a big investment financially, but you also have to consider the amount of time you could be saving and how you could be using that time to grow your business in the other areas if you had that time available.
Right.
So that is the what, how, and why of video marketing. How you do it, why you should be doing it, all of those different aspects that are really important. But now we want to move on to the question of the day, which is a segment we'll have in every episode of commonly asked questions or audience questions that we want to answer for you guys. So Ethan, a very commonly asked question is, how much does video production cost? A lot of companies are not transparent about this, and they don't know, what am I actually going to have to invest in this? So how much does video production cost?
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, it's very common in the video production industry and honestly in any creative industry, whether it's web design or graphic design. It's hard to just get a price out of someone. I think there's a lot of reasons for that. A lot of the times these companies are run by very creative people who don't necessarily have like the business mind.
Yeah.
Not always, but I think that's a stereotype that's somewhat true. And it was true of us until this last year, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone called me and said, hey, I want to make this video, how much is it going to cost? In my head, I was always just thinking, it depends. Like there's so many factors, there's so many variables to video production. How long are we going to be filming? How many videos do you need? What's the editing going to be like?
How far away is the location?
Yeah, just all these factors. And so I'm really happy and excited about the pricing that we have now that we rolled out recently. We basically categorized all of our video production process into 3 packages. They're called the Spark, the Blaze, and the Inferno plan. And they're right on our website on the main pricing page. Anyone can go look at them. We try to be really transparent about that. And essentially, the way these 3 packages work is you can either purchase them as a one-time video for a slightly higher cost, or if you add one of them as a monthly plan, you get it for a discounted rate. So for those 3 plans, if you add them as a monthly package, they are $900, $1,800, or $2,700 per month. And the only difference between those 3 plans is how long we're going to come film. It's 1 hour, 4 hours, or 8 hours.
Yep.
And how many video edits you get out of that footage that we film. So I'm really excited that we were able to do that. Everyone who goes on our website and contacts us, I've gotten a lot of comments over the last few months just saying, man, thank you for putting the pricing on your website. Like I've been looking at multiple video production companies and nobody has like upfront transparent pricing. So that's how we handle pricing. It could be different at a lot of other places if you're looking, but that's kind of a range for the shorter form, corporate videos or informational videos or social media ads. There still are the cases of, if someone wants to come to us and they have a big brand video project that's going to be 5 days of shooting or something, then we still do custom quotes for that. And I think a lot of companies would do the same. And for those, if you're looking for a bigger, higher scale production, I hate to say it, but it depends.
It does. Yeah.
The range is anywhere from $5,000 to, $40,000, $100,000. It just depends how big of a scale you want it to be. For us, it would probably be between $5,000 and $20,000.
Yep.
That's the range we would typically be in for something bigger. So I feel like I kind of rambled for a while there, but I think that answers the question.
Yeah. Cool. And if you want to see what that looks like, you can go to sleekfire.io/pricing. If you even just want to use that as an example for, maybe I should do this for my company, to be very transparent about my pricing. I know when I'm on a website and there's no price, I'm like leaving immediately.
Time to bounce.
And it really, really turns me off. So that could be a really good thing to consider doing for your company as well. Thanks so much for listening to episode 1 and just hanging out with us and having a conversation about video marketing. I really appreciate you being here. We're super excited for all of these upcoming episodes. So stay tuned and we'll see you next time.
All Things Video is a podcast produced by Sleekfire. Sleekfire is a video production company based in St. John's, Michigan. For more information, visit sleekfire.io and make sure to check out our blog for a large collection of helpful resources.